Today's guest built the #1 hair product on Amazon at 19 years old.
The marketing was literally me being in that manic episode, just nonstop talking about it. Posting 100 videos a day. I was basically brute forcing my way to success.
Born into a lower class family in Virginia, he survived days without electricity or food alongside relentless bullying for his TikTok videos.
They were playing my music in front of the entire class. I remember leaving that class with a smile because I knew that I had gained the attention of everyone in that room.
After countless business issues with his family, he turned that betrayal into entrepreneurial fuel, generating $500,000 a month.
I got home from school one day. All the lights in the house were out. My phone's about to die. I had nothing to eat that day. And I just started crying because I was like, I hate where I am, but I knew I was gonna make it out.
In this episode, we'll explore how childhood trauma can forge an unstoppable mindset, uncover the secrets of building million-dollar social media brands, and explore how success at a young age make you question everyone's true motives.
Family members had been spending my money nonstop while telling me this wasn't happening. I had to make a decision to side with my family or side with myself. So I chose
Dillon Latham. Welcome to the Jack Neel Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to chat with you, man. Dillon has successful business, teaches people about how to improve their looks, teaches people about how to go viral on social media. He has a lot of things going on, so hopefully you guys will find value in this episode. Dillon, you're recently a 20-year-old millionaire. How much money have you made selling sea salt spray?
In the 7-figure range. That's all I can say. Yeah.
And that's just revenue from that product alone?
Yes.
When are you looking to maybe sell the business?
Ideally, under the next 5 years. I was talking about potentially doing it in 5 years. Then I thought to myself, I actually don't think it will take that long. But if it did, I would be fine with that because this is a long-term play.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to force Dillon to say how much he's making exactly, but if you just look up the price of the bottle and how many it's selling on Amazon,
you'll find it.
Definitely a way to figure it out. And then could it be assumed that you make more off the Symmetrical website than Amazon? Or is Amazon kind of your top one?
Close, but Amazon is #1.
And then do you do TikTok shop as well?
Yes.
Is that a big source or is that
we have 31,000 sold on TikTok shop units of sea salt spray.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so when you were 19, you made the #1 hair product on Amazon. What do you do that other hair brands don't?
Well, first off, we make it simple. Simple is in the name. We use minimal ingredients. We try to avoid anything that would be harmful. We care a lot about the customer experience down to the packaging. And we don't go with the cheap route, we go with the right route. And that's why I think we're successful and why our reviews are so good. I was sitting in my garage one night and using a sea salt spray that had horrible ingredients and actually burned my scalp. And after that, I just knew, I was like, this is definitely not the right way. And I was like, I could easily fix that. How has no one thought of this? And then I looked with a lot of effort and I couldn't find anything that had solved that need. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do that. And instead of doing it for people, I did it for myself. I was making it for myself before anyone else. And then people just started asking me what I put in my hair. And I was like, sea salt spray. And after that, people just asked me to sell it. I literally told them, I was like, if you order a bunch of ingredients on Amazon, you could probably make it at home. And they're like, no, sell it. And I was like, okay. So then I started selling it.
Yeah, so originally you were making videos about how to make sea salt spray at home. And eventually people were like, Dillon, we don't want to make all this. So you kind of put it all into a bottle, added some other stuff you thought was useful. But I guess assuming that people are able to replicate your product fairly easily in terms of the ingredients inside, what have you done in terms of marketing that other hair brands haven't?
Initially, it comes down to personal brand. I think personal brand is the best way to take any business from 0 to 1 or 0 to 10, then 10 to 100 is the back end side of things, I would say, more than anything. But to start a business, I think it's one of the best ways, at least a low ticket product like that. And it's hard you can't copy a brand because a brand is built off of things you've done over a long period of time. The same way that you could copy Louis Vuitton, but it's not worth the same. So the brand is what makes it worth it. The message that we spread, simplicity, health, longevity, those things can't just be instantly copied.
To my knowledge, I think the brand or the company used to go under a different brand name. But from the time that you launched Simpletics, like what were kind of the marketing methods that you did? Like what did you start with? Was it Facebook ads off the bat? Was it Dillon makes a bunch of videos about it? Was TikTok Shop even a thing? Like kind of give me the timeline.
Yeah, so we've actually been around for just over a year. My first business was like unrelated to this. This one, I launched it. It was in like a really, really horrible time in my life. My whole like life was falling apart. And I basically was like in a manic episode and I was like, all right, I need to like do something right now. So I thought of this, made it, launched it, and the marketing was literally me being in that manic episode, just nonstop talking about it. I was posting 100 videos a day on this new TikTok account I had made.
100 videos, like actually 100 videos?
Yeah. And it would fluctuate 100 videos a day. Then I'd do 10, then I'd do however many. And it was not because I was basically brute forcing my way to success. And I launched this brand and then I started doing higher end videos with like a good camera, no ads. And we did the month of launch just under 100,000. And it was pretty much all profit because it was really cheap.
100,000 rev?
Yeah. It was really like mostly profit because it was not expensive to make. We had no ads. There's no expenses other than making the product itself.
It seems like we're in a weird place where the marketing methods used to be Facebook ads and like trying to rank on Amazon and SEO, all those types of things. And then it kind of went into, oh, you need an influencer brand like Logan Paul or Mr. Beast to attach to like Feastables or Prime. And then now I'm seeing this really interesting method on TikTok that you, Kareem Shami and Santa Cruz Medicinals are like kind of spearheading, which is like spam posting about a product and it all being like tied to that one influencer. Like, do you have a lot of creators making content for you or are you just driving these sales yourself?
Initially, I was driving them myself, but now it's majority other people, ads, creators, whatever. But I do think that is like a crazy, once again, that's like one of the craziest ways to start, I think. But to scale, it's good for like recognition, but for sales on a product, I think it's better to have like ads and people doing it. But that awareness aspect of letting people know that you exist, I think it's the best way right now. The cheapest way, one of the cheapest ways. And like, I mean, it's free if you do it yourself. And yeah, I would say it's good, especially at the start, but for scale, I think it's better to get people.
Right. That makes sense. I guess for someone starting out, say they have a product or are an affiliate for a product on TikTok Shop, like what's the easiest way to make 10K a month on TikTok Shop, like as a creator?
I think volume negates luck. So post a ton of videos because you're not penalized for it. And once again, it's free. So I would, like I said, I was posting 100 times a day at one point. Why not try to do that and see what happens? Not because you'll make money from all those videos, but you'll learn significantly faster than everyone else. Using that skill, you can then post less, higher quality. When I did it, it was, like I said, a manic episode. And I legitimately was like going crazy. And I was like, I have to make it. Anything that popped into my head, I would post. And that I realized people don't look at it on a video by video basis. They look at you as a whole. And the reason this new strategy works is not because they're scrolling on their feed and they see you. It's because they're scrolling on their feed and they see you over and over and over and over. And eventually they swipe on your profile and be like, what is this guy doing? And they scroll through your profile. That's the new way. If people are not scrolling onto your profile from seeing you over and over, something's wrong.
Who do you think kind of came up with that method? Was it you and Santa Cruz originally doing
Cookie
it?
King.
But he wasn't selling a product, was he?
No, so that's the thing that's missed is like the intention for me wasn't even initially to just sell that product. It was because I actually wanted to do it. And with Santa Cruz, I think he saw Cookie King doing it. He wasn't like initially like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to sell product. He was like, he saw Cookie King, I believe, and was like, oh, that's funny. I'm going to do it. And then he was like, oh, wait, this is fun and it makes money and all this.
I asked TJR this and he said that he's actually been doing it for years, but I think Cookie has taken the crown, no pun intended, on like just spam posting to the max and like making everyone else post even more, which is funny. When Cookie King launches a product, it's gonna be interesting. So what do you think drives more traffic, like a solo creator TikTok shop versus affiliates?
I think affiliates drive more, but it just costs more. So you just have to weigh. I mean, like I said, if you do it yourself, it's just going to cost you time. Whereas with affiliates, it costs money. But if you just look at general manpower, affiliates are going to charge more because there's just so many more people. You can't keep up with that unless you have a personal brand. Personal brand changes everything because everything you post has a lever on it, meaning it can get multiple X more than someone else, like 10X. So 10 people to take one of you.
And then this is ultra specific as well. Would you rather have like 100 videos with 10,000 views or like one video with 1 million views about your product?
It depends what the video is about, because if it's 100 videos with 10,000 views, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if those videos all are about like niche topics, 100% taking those. If the one with 1 million views is a viral idea, broad video, that's not even that valuable, in my opinion.
Like, would you say that the bulk of your sales that you've driven have been like from a couple videos that went viral, or has it been just like this mass posting?
At the start, it was really viral single videos, but that's because it was a product launch, and most creators will face the problem of launches are always going to do better, and then you get to a baseline. Once you're at that baseline, that's when you're put to the test.
So what products do you guys sell right now at Symmetrical?
We only sell 2. It's hair texturizing powder and sea salt spray.
Have you announced the other one yet?
The hair clay has been like teased. We haven't talked about it too much. Something that a lot of people in this space experience is like extremely long wait times. This happened with that. We were talking about this like 6 months ago, and then we were like, oh yeah, this is not happening that fast. And then, yeah, so it's been teased and it's going to be dropped soon.
Cool. When's it going to be dropped?
We don't have a specific date yet.
Probably like a month or 2?
Yeah, around there, yeah.
Something like that. What's a social media growth hack no one talks about?
Seeking to be real oftentimes will build a much more strong, powerful audience than seeking to get views. But if you seek to get views, you build the skill necessary to give people what they want so you can give them what they need. And that sounds like a really drawn out response. The main point though is you need to know how to do both. Be authentic and also pull extreme views. Large views are more orchestrated, where being authentic is more challenging. So something I've been realizing recently is that the biggest people in the industry, like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they found an overlap of getting mass views while also incorporating personality and branding into it. And that's the best overlap possible. So people always argue for one side of, oh, get views, or, oh, views don't matter. Well, they both matter. And if you can overlap them, you have an insane strategy.
I think that's really good advice. I look at someone like Mr. Beast, and I've tried to crack the reason in my head that, like, how is he famous if he's not directly like in the content? It's not really showing off his personality. And it's like, he's kind of made a brand for himself of being the person that gets the most views. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of why people know him. But there are other creators, like, I think of like the Dillon twins. Do you know who those people are?
Yes.
They're like probably like number 2 subscribed on YouTube, I think. Number 3. And like, I've never seen like a single one of their videos, but like views doesn't necessarily equal personal brand or like people like knowing and caring about you unless you have the most views of anyone else.
Yeah.
Example, Charlie D'Amelio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something I'll say about that. I have a weird way of testing how much pull I have with my content. And it's just walking outside. I live in Brickell, Miami. And every day I walk outside, multiple people come up to me. Based on what they say to me, I know that I made a mistake in my content or I did something right. Recently, it's been all about this meme I was in, like the dance with the pants thing. And that's like kind of annoying because I'm like, I just want to have like impact. I don't want to be someone who's just looked at as like, you're famous to be famous. And then other people will come up to me and be like, you changed my life. When I posted on YouTube a lot more than I do right now, I was getting 130 million views a month on just YouTube. And none of those people cared about me. Any people who recognized me from that content just called me the hair guy. They didn't know my name. They knew nothing about me. I was the hair guy. Whereas the other content, you changed my life, is the most common thing people would say.
Super similar experience. I'm making less money than I have with content in the past, but I used to do like fact videos or crime videos. And I would never really get recognized. People would just be like, you're the guy from TikTok, I think. But like now it's like, dude, I love the podcast. Like, and they ask me like business advice. And it just means that the content's a little deeper, more impactful. How much money has your perm made you?
Gosh. I actually have no idea, but it's probably a huge factor as to why Simpletics does as well as it does. The Wall Street Journal made an article saying that I started like this nationwide thing of perms, like,
Bro, I really think you did.
which is crazy to think.
Every kid I see that's like 16 like has your haircut what it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. And I think it's probably going to contribute to millions, but probably at least like $1 million in like generated money just in general.
When did you post that video? Did you know I made so I have a perm too. Fun fact for the audience. Did you know I made a video that was like perming my hair in quarantine? Did I tell you about that?
No, I didn't see that. No.
Oh, I thought you might have seen. Mine was an app promo, and I know we were both in the app promo stuff back in the day. It was like you got paid per download, and I think that video made me like $10,000, and it was just like vote on whether or not I should get a perm, vote on whether or not my perm looks better or my straight hair looks better. My mom's like a hairstylist, so she did it all, but it was super funny to see. Like I got one. I think I saw like who did I see getting it? Maybe Josh Richards or like Bryce Hall or something. And then like I saw you like really made it big, and then I'm like, oh my god, everyone's getting perms now. But yeah, like was that what you were known for initially for the first period of time?
Yes, I was known as like Dillon Latham Perm. Like people would come up to me and call me Dillon Latham Perm. Like they would just leave that part on, and I was known as the guy with the perm. Like, and I would always wear these puka shell necklaces, and I had this weird like litmus test where if I walked outside and I saw someone with that hairstyle, like the fluffy perm hairstyle and a puka shell necklace, without saying anything, I knew that they knew me always because they just looked like me. I was like, this person is literally just like, they dress like me, look like me, all this.
That's a weird one, being able to tell when someone like recognizes you.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you kind of just look like the type of person that watches my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's likeness. Have you heard Hormozy talk about this?
No, I haven't. What's he say?
Hormozy said something that I thought was so golden because I've been using this trick to blow up my social media for years without knowing I was doing it. He says influence comes from likeness, power, status. Those are the main three things. Likeness. So likeness is just how much do I look / act like this person. Power is like, what is the likelihood that somebody does something that I say they have to do and it gives them a good result. And then status is controlling a scarce resource. So like if you post a bunch of videos and you stop posting, you control the resource of the videos. So you have status in that scenario. And I realized that is the formula of influence. I had gained extreme influence on accident because I would tell people to get perms and it was very rare that it turned out bad. So that gave me power. I would post tip videos all the time, and every time I would post them, people would follow them and they would work. But I also controlled that resource of the videos. And then likeness, I literally was my audience. I looked just like them. So when you talk about influence, it's no wonder that everyone in the street looked exactly like me because I had the most influence I could have had for that audience.
It's really interesting, man. I wonder how many perms you were directly responsible for.
I would like to know that answer.
It's got to be like at least 100,000, man. You know, perms are expensive in Los Angeles. I mean, I think the cheapest one I've got here is like $50, and like the most expensive is like 500.
I've been getting like $300 perms. It's cooked, bro.
But like once you find the girl who does it right, it's like
you got to stay with them.
Yeah, it's usually the expensive one in my experience. But I'll talk about some Looksmaxxing stuff a little bit. I know you've kind of turned away from that content a tad, but it's more generalized self-improvement and social media growth. But when did you start Looksmaxxing? When did you first hear that term? Were you kind of the first person to do it on social media?
So I had been on TikTok at the age of 15, built an account to 400,000 followers, then got banned. And after I got banned, I was really upset. And for some reason, I took that anger out on trying to make myself look better. I don't know why. The same way guys would go to the gym, but instead of going to the gym, I was like messing with things with my face, like getting the perm, all that. So it started when I was like 15, 16. And I would say I was the second person on TikTok. The first was Kay Shami.
So he was the first.
On TikTok, I would say probably at least the first mainstream. And then I would say I was the second, but it was at a very similar time frame. And I had blown up doing it from 0 to 100,000 followers in like a week. And I had kept getting banned, but every time I just got 100,000 followers in like a week.
What were you getting
maximum 2
banned
weeks.
for?
I was like underage and TikTok guidelines were like really restrictive back then. But yeah, I started when I was 15, 16. And then that was another thing that like was like a wave, like a crazy, crazy wave.
What's the best haircut a guy can get in 2025? I know it's different for every face and you can kind of break that down, but like what are like your top ones right now?
Well, this isn't technically a haircut, but I think a perm is one of the best, most like easy ways to like look better. You just use a perm, use some sea salt spray, and it just looks so like cool. But that's for making your face stand out. Because when you have a hairstyle like that, that's longer, I notice on younger people, it usually just makes your face flow better. I don't know how to explain it. But aside from that, I would say like a low taper fringe, which is like a little fade on your sideburns with like the hair out in the front. Once again, you can like put in some hair product and it looks good on like everyone.
What's the worst haircut a guy can get in 2025?
Probably the skullet.
I think I know what you're talking about. I'll have to pop up a photo of that.
Pop up a photo.
What are like do you think like bald fades are out with like the little swoop in the gel? Like
Yeah, all that's out. That's like the soccer kid hairstyle. I would say what's in right now, weirdly, is like modern mullets, low taper fringes. So like the low taper with the fringe here. Still the perm. The perm is still going strong. I see it all the time. Those are the three.
yeah, but you kind of cut your hair. Why'd you cut your hair?
I
You abandoned the perm, Dillon.
Yeah, I abandoned the perm because I looked at myself and I was like, bro, I'm too old for this now.
Bro, I'm 24. I've been thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, when I cut it shorter, instantly everyone treated me like more seriously. And the girls who would approach me were like older. Guys respected me more, like everything about it. And I basically graduated from like the look that I once had because I was like this pretty boy, like perm, puka shell necklace. Like I can't do this forever. I was like, this is a perfect time to switch. And right when I switched, I changed everything about myself.
Yeah, Kareem and I talked about that. I was like, bro, am I too old for this haircut? Like, and then he went through this whole analysis of like, you're trying to ascend through the different levels at like each age and what you should try to go for. He's like, in your 20s, you need to be like a Vampire Diaries character. I don't know, all this stuff, bro.
What did he say to you? Did he say you should keep the
He
perm?
said I could keep it for a couple more years, honestly.
I think you could, but I think you should also try. Well, it's kind of a part of your brand now, I would say. Like that hairstyle is a part of your brand. If you got it short, but I do think it would look good short as well.
Yeah, I've done it like a little shorter, but I kind of just want to go straight Marlin and get a buzz cut, bro. Would you ever do that?
Yeah, I would do that. I would do that. I mean, now that I have this, I recently got like a beard out of nowhere.
You're 20, bro.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
And I feel like a buzz cut, but then I would like fully alienate any women that watch me whatsoever, because it's really masculine. But it gets people to listen to you, I think. Each haircut has its own benefit, and that's the thing that people like. Like the benefit of my haircut is somewhere in the middle of like guys respect you more, girls still like it. Girls actually, I feel like this haircut the most for people my age. And then a buzz cut, you're like eliminating girls and going for like business. Like you want to be respected by business guys, stuff like that.
What's the easiest thing someone can do to improve their look?
Lose weight.
That's what Kay Shanley said too. And I'm like, boys, that is not easy. What I want, like the instant, like 24 hours, I have a date tomorrow. Like, what am I doing?
Oh, that's easy. Use a self-tanner, but there's a specific method that I found. So what you need to do is grab a spray bottle, one of those infinite spray bottles where you squeeze it a few times and it keeps going. And then you fill it up with lotion-based self-tanner that matches your skin evenly. You shake up the bottle, mix it with water, and then you spray yourself from a distance. It's the most real looking tan, and it instantly makes your face look more defined. It makes you look more healthy, and it makes you just generally like 2 points more attractive, I would say.
I'm a big self-tanner guy. You put me onto that one. I used the one that you used to recommend.
Oh, let's go.
But would you say like Your method you just
The new
described
method
is
is
better.
way better. Like it is the best because you don't just do your face. When
Bro,
you
is
just
that
do
gonna
your
be
face,
is that gonna be the next Simpletics product?
it could. It actually
Because I don't want to do all that. Like you said that, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. The thing is, when you just self-tan your face, you look uncanny. But if you do it the right way, you like spray. It's basically giving yourself a spray tan. And when you mix it with water, it dilutes it enough so there's no hard lines. Because sometimes when you use self-tanner, it leaves hard lines and it looks completely fake. But by diluting it, it like somehow just spreads perfectly.
Quick tip, if you're like me, you probably use AI to write a lot of stuff, but it never really sounds like you. You try to give it an example, say match my style, and a few minutes later, it's like it forgot everything you told it to do. But now that I'm using Poppy AI, it's so much easier to write scripts, research videos, or even create viral content ideas. It lets you drag and drop existing content, notes, voice memos, and connect to a chatbot that you can feed any prompt you want it to. It pretty much nails exactly how you communicate, and if you want to use inspiration from another creator style, it can do that too. My team uses Poppy for every piece of content we put out, and it saves so much time because they're not struggling to make it sound like me. So if you guys want to create more content without sacrificing quality, just go to getpoppy.ai/Jack Neel. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if it doesn't give you value, it's completely free. Anyway, guys, back to the podcast.
how do you come to all these methods? Like, how did you come to your own sea salt formulation originally? How did you come to that?
Weirdly enough, just being curious. Like I would just see things and my brain has always been really weird in the way I think of things. I think so outside the box, too much for most things. But one example was like with this self-tanner, I was like, wait, spray tan, why don't I put this in a spray bottle and like shake it up with some water? Like why has nobody done this? Like why is this not a product that people sell right now? I might actually have to sell that.
Yeah.
But
it's just a more diluted version, right?
no, I would say it's slightly different. Like it's not the same as lotion. Like the application matters so much. Like this is the thing. This is like the niche details no one would think of. Spraying it versus rubbing it creates a completely different look. Completely different look. So that's why I was like, well, I'll make a spray version so that it looks just the best possible. And then with the sea salt spray, I just thought to myself, like, why don't people do this? Like mix salt and water. And then for some reason I was testing with like random ingredients at home that I ordered because I was just so curious. And I was like, wait, I've always hated how my hair doesn't stand up. Let me mix this ingredient because for some reason when I put this in my hair, it makes it stand up a little bit. And then, yeah, I was just messing around with different things.
How can someone fix an asymmetrical face?
My opinion has changed a little bit. To fix an asymmetrical face, let's say your face is lopsided towards the right side. You don't like your right side as much as the left. That could be for a few things. If you sleep on your right side a lot, your face will rub up against your pillow, which could cause wrinkles, lines, acne. Not only that, but it can also make your nose and your collagen droop towards that side. So your nose will literally droop towards that side. So the first thing you can do is switch sides. But to avoid getting wrinkles, lines, all that, get a silk pillowcase or one that has no friction, because the friction is what makes your face bad. And then also fixing your posture. Standing up straight can help. I've also learned recently there's no such thing as like good posture. It's just good looking posture. So standing up straight is good looking, but it's not necessarily the most healthy per se. But so fixing your posture and then fixing your habits of touching your face all the time, messing with acne, chewing equally on both sides of your mouth is another thing, so that your masseter muscle doesn't grow bigger on one side than the other.
This is a really specific one to me. I noticed this recently. I don't think my lips align with like the middle of my eyebrows. And I'm curious if you have any way to fix that. I think my jaw just might be crooked or something.
So if your jaw is crooked, I can't even notice it from my like perspective.
It's
so
like if I smile, it's like my teeth are kind of, they don't really line up.
I see.
Exactly.
Okay. So
yeah.
If your upper teeth don't align, the only thing you could do is literally get like a double jaw surgery where they like remove the top of your jaw. Because the top of your teeth are connected. What they do is they open your mouth and they like saw from like your nose to like your ear, just take that piece off. And then they like move it or adjust it. Or getting like braces, which is annoying though, because if you have straight teeth and you get braces to make them like, they would have to probably expand them and then realign them.
I don't wear my retainer. I wonder if that happened after I stopped wearing my retainer. My mouth just shifted. How do you get rid of acne overnight?
What I used to do is I would put salt water on my pimples because I noticed when I was at the beach, they would go away. Do I still recommend this? I don't know because it worked for me, but I've heard dermatologists say don't do that, but it worked for me. So it's like, but I would say.
I used to do that too.
Yeah.
It like kind of worked, but sometimes it would like make my face like break out and get all red.
Yeah.
Because the salt's a little irritating.
Yeah, the salt can like irritate you, depending on the salt as well. But I would say pimple patches, but that also can be problematic. I would say a method that I don't recommend, but has also worked for me is you pop your pimple and then you put some like healing ointment or whatever on it. And then you go to sleep. And when you wake up, sometimes it's fixed or sometimes it looks horrible. So it's like a 50-50 risk. And you're also never supposed to pop your pimples because it can cause scarring and whatnot. But
only pop your pimples if they're ready. That's my advice on that one.
yeah.
Because so many people like try to make the pimple ready to pop, you know?
I actually have a better answer. Instead of trying to get rid of them, make them less noticeable while keeping them there, because that will be the healthiest way. So like self-tanning, it'll make your skin darker so the contrast of the pimple to your skin isn't bad. So you don't have to get rid of it.
That's interesting. I will say I do that. And I feel like the self-tan like irritates it even more sometimes.
I have seen that. Well, with the spray tan method I've used, it somehow doesn't do that.
What's your secret to getting rid of dandruff?
It depends which type of dandruff you have. So there's one that's dry scalp, which I don't even know if you could consider it dandruff, where it's like yellow, I mean like snow coming off your head. If you have that, you could use a scalp oil. You could use coconut oil. You could use less shampoo because shampoo can dry out your hair. And then there's another type, which is like fungal dandruff, where you have to use a shampoo like Nizoral, for example, which has, I believe the ingredient is called ketoconazole or something like that, which kills that fungus or gets rid of it. So it depends which one you have. If you use dandruff shampoo and you have dry scalp, I don't know what that could be doing, but I know it's probably not good.
What causes dry scalp? Do you know?
When you have underactive sebaceous glands, that's one thing, but there's other things like using shampoo that strips the oil too much. Using things that irritate your skin on your scalp. So that's another reason why I made natural hair products, because, yeah.
Do you use shampoo and conditioner on your hair?
I do. I tried skipping. I tried this no shampoo method. It was like a huge thing for a while, and I did no shampoo. But that's when I discovered I don't recommend doing no shampoo. I recommend just finding the right one. Because now I use Dr. Squatch, which I guess is our competitor, but we're going to come out with one that's better than theirs. But right now I use that and it's like so good. I don't use conditioner because with theirs you don't really need to.
It's just natural?
Yeah, it's just natural shampoo. It's so good, especially if you have a perm. It's really good.
Last one on Looksmaxxing. How do you make sure you never go bald?
That's easy. If you never want to go bald, the earlier you try to fix it, the better result you're going to get. If you want to grow your hair faster, use minoxidil. If you want to keep your hair, use finasteride or dutasteride. You can use a foam version of finasteride or dutasteride on your scalp, or you can take a pill form of one of the two.
And minoxidil is only foam?
Minoxidil is liquid or foam, and all it does is it really increases blood flow, which makes your hair grow faster, thicker, and fuller, but it will not keep you from balding because DHT is the thing that makes you bald, which is dihydrotestosterone, a hormone that can end up in your scalp. Some
of our friends or people that we know in common told me that you could put minoxidil on your eyebrows and it grows your eyelashes, actually, which is pretty cool. If you want to grow your eyelashes.
I do that, yeah.
You do that?
Well, on my eyebrows. I haven't been doing it for long. I just cooked my eyebrow, though.
Bro, I feel like your eyebrows are like, you got the thick eyebrow look.
Thank you.
Want them thicker?
Yeah, 100%.
Interesting. Yeah, I've been seeing that. I didn't know like thick eyebrows made such a difference.
It's so crazy. Do you dye your eyebrows?
Mm-mm.
You should, I think. It would make an instant difference, like crazy difference.
Like just
you'll
a
look
shade
like a
darker?
different person. Yeah, just a shade like darker. And also when you dye them, there's a lot of hairs that people have you don't have that light of eyebrows, but it'll take any hairs that are really light, that are outlier hairs, and make them way darker. So it doesn't just make a small difference. It makes a huge, huge like change.
I've been thinking about getting my eyelashes tinted.
Oh, definitely do that. Definitely.
Because they're like blonde on the ends. They like look really small, but they're actually pretty long on the ends. But they're blonde like it's like half blonde and half black, I guess. I'm sure if
I definitely recommend dyeing them.
You got me thinking. Anything else you'd recommend for me? Obviously, probably lose a bit of facial fat, but besides that,
I would say I actually do recommend the shorter hairstyle. If I could give you like a stack, I would say slightly shorter hairstyle. Honestly, I recommend one like this. It was such a good transition, in my opinion. So that
I got big ears though, bro.
I actually don't think that would matter as much, but I don't know. I think that hairstyle looks good too. So potentially dyeing your hair slightly darker, definitely dye the eyelashes, no question. That would be just an instant like glow up. I recommend dyeing the eyebrows a slightly darker shade. I recommend using the spray tan method, or at least that method is like undefeated. Like I would definitely say that. And I would say those are the main things. And then it's the obvious, like just get shredded. If you did all that, you would ascend by like 3 points.
So Dillon, to go back into the business stuff a little bit, how'd you make your first 10K on social media?
Selling puka shell necklaces. So I had puka shell necklaces. I just put a link in bio. I had some friend who was like running the back end of it a little bit, and he would just fulfill those orders. Initially, I actually kind of got like scammed. Apparently he was drop shipping, and I actually had no idea. I literally thought this guy was like doing, and then instantly when I found that out, I took it down. So I made like 10K for like a month. And then I was like, oh, wait, what is this guy doing?
So you did that before the app downloads?
I did that before really. The app downloads. Shoot.
You were probably on the plug, I'm guessing, right?
I was on Tap.
Yeah,
what it was
TAPP.
Yeah.
Tap.io, something like that.
I forgot about that. Was crazy money.
That's how I made my first money.
Yeah. That was how? Wow.
Not Tap. We had our own company that did it, but it was like similar setup. And we like, since we owned it, we were more so trying to get influencers to push these apps, and we'd like work with the brands to blow it up. That's like why I moved to LA originally.
I did the puka shell necklaces, stopped, and that's when I think I did the app. And the app was crazy. I would just see like $6, like, because I would choose the biggest like paying app, and I would be getting like $6 like every like few minutes. Like every 3 minutes or something, I'd get like $6. And then that probably made me like 5K to 10K. I don't even know. I was literally doing it for the love of the game. I didn't actually care about the money. And then I learned like, oh shoot, I need to make money. But yeah.
Yeah, guys, for reference, there were these different apps or services that would let you promote like a mobile app on the App Store, and you would get paid like 50 cents per download, $1 per download, sometimes up to like $3 a download. And you would just make videos about them on TikTok, drop it to the link in your bio. And yeah, it used to be a pretty good way to make money. I'm not sure how those apps are doing today, but it's kind of set the framework for marketing on TikTok. And then what is now TikTok Shop.
One thing that changed is I believe the apps are why TikTok removed pinned comments, because all the pinned comments would be click the link in my bio on this app, or like check out the app in my bio.
What did you learn through like promoting these apps? Because I'm guessing it taught you a lot of skills about how to convert.
Weirdly enough, it didn't take much effort. It was just get views and get sales. So if anything, it actually led me a bit astray, because it taught me that to get to people to buy from you, you just need to get views. But the real reason people were buying from me was because I had a big personal brand and I didn't know it.
At what age did you hit your first million followers?
18.
Were you still in high school at the time?
Yes.
How did social media fame change how people treated you in high school?
In high school, I've talked about this before, but it's funny looking back, because I would go to school, everything was normal. The day I went viral, like the day I had a new nickname, which was just like X, because my username had an X in it. So everyone would come up with the craziest names with like the letter X, like Weapon X, X Factor, Dillon X Latham, like just the craziest stuff. And I thought it was funny, but I was also really, really like hurt by it, and I would take down videos and stuff. So I would get made fun of by everyone, but I knew that if I ended up like everyone else, I probably wouldn't like the life that I have.
Did you have a lot of friends in high school?
I would say yes, actually. I had a lot of friends, but majority of them I realized once I went viral were not real friends. They were kind of just acquaintances. So when things got shaky with my reputation, in the sense that, oh, he's this TikToker, I lost a lot of those quote unquote friends.
You seem like you've changed a lot over the past few months since we've last hung out, and just over the past couple of years, because we've kind of stayed in contact. You were good friends with my old business partner as well. But yeah, what do you think has kind of led to this change of thinking at the next level, like having bigger goals for yourself? Like you seem much more grounded and like, I hate to use the word afraid, but you seem pretty fearless about your outlook on life at the moment. Like, what do you think has kind of sparked that change?
I saw a pattern with people who could make things sound simple being more successful. I also saw a pattern with people who were clear about their goals being more successful. And then I also heard you speak to me, and it sounded very methodical, and it was easy to understand, but it was very interesting. So I liked it. So I changed the way that I spoke over time. And I'll also say the people that I look up to most, all of them have that in common. They make things so simple to understand.
What's the most important part of your childhood that would help us to understand who Dillon is?
Growing up, I was terrified because I had problems with my parents, biological parents, step parents. I never had a steady home. I would stay with my grandma at times. I was never in the same place. And that turned me into, I guess, a working machine because I was so afraid of turning out like any of the people I was around. So the worst part of my childhood became the best lever or best stepping stone to my current success.
Can you think of a moment early on, like when I say this, it'll probably pop in your head, just where you felt scared?
I got home from school one day and all the lights in the house were out. The food in the fridge had gone bad. The house was a complete wreck. I go in my room, my phone's about to die. I had nothing to eat that day. And I was like a grown kid at this point, like 17, and I just started like crying because I was like, I hate where I am. But I knew I was going to make it out. So I recorded myself saying that I was going to make it very far from here, and in a year I'll look back from a new place. A year later, that's Sympletic started. All these things changed. So I kind of spoke it into existence. So if I felt scared, it was that moment of realizing that it was me against the world, I guess.
You've kind of touched on your backstory a little bit. And a big reason I wanted to do this interview with you was to kind of give kids in a similar situation at least a little bit of hope, because it's not often that you meet people that are successful but still kind of in the thick of it, or just recently out of that hard time. So I appreciate whatever you're willing to share, but
Okay, little problem I'm having. Do you guys feel like everyone's making money on meme coins except for you? Like, you see these screenshots on X of people turning $300 into over $500,000, and you're thinking, am I just unlucky? Like, how did these guys even do this? What I've been told after different conversations with top traders on this podcast is it's not luck. These guys know one thing that you don't. See, the people making consistent money with altcoins or memes aren't just gambling, hoping it works out. They use the same repeatable strategy to make sure they're profitable a majority of the time. And that's why I'm so glad we're partnering with Crypto Banter to give you guys access to Crypto School so you can really become profitable traders. They have a program specifically for altcoins and meme coins that's taught by crypto experts who have been profitable since the very beginning.
Brought it together so nicely in a package that I just loved it.
Now I know what I'm doing because I've got the foundation.
You guys break it down so simple. I'm so thankful for you guys.
Now, normally it's $2,000 to join, but right now you guys can get access for completely free. Just scan the QR code on screen, deposit $100 to trade with, and you'll instantly get access to the full course and community of traders. Just go to jackneel.com/crypto. But anyway, guys, back to the podcast.
Really quick, I want to thank you guys because in the past few months, we've had some of the biggest names in crypto on this podcast. Now, some of these guys think Bitcoin is the only currency that matters. Others think Ethereum is the future, and some of them just like to place bets on meme coins. Now, I'm not going to say who's right, but they all do agree on one thing. The dollar is dead, and digital currency is the future. But if you don't agree with this, let me explain why you might think that. See, in its early days, buying Bitcoin was way riskier. You had to worry about hacks, scams, shady exchanges, and literal billions of dollars were lost that way. Sometimes Bitcoin was used to buy things on the dark web, and I think that scared a lot of people away from it. But now it's gotten to the point where big institutions and literal countries are investing billions of dollars into Bitcoin, which means that they don't have as much faith in the dollar as they used to. So if you're someone who's stuck in the pattern of putting money in your 401k, your savings account, or an IRA, you really need to hear about I Trust Capital. These guys let you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, even gold, all inside of a tax-advantaged IRA account. So by investing in Bitcoin in one of their accounts, you actually have a chance to beat inflation and get all the benefits of a retirement account. So if you guys want to start a crypto IRA or transfer your existing one, just head over to itrustcapital.com/Jack Neel. You can also scan the QR code on screen, hit the first link in the description. Guys, just make sure you use the code JACK8 so you get a free, easy $100 sign-up bonus. This lets the guys at iTrust know that you saw this exact video, and it really helps out our podcast. But anyway, guys, back to the podcast. What's a childhood memory that makes you smile?
When I initially blew up on social media, I had told everyone before I blew up that I was going to blow up. And then it just happened immediately after I told everyone. So, and I was 15, so I would consider that like childhood. I was like, I just had complete and utter belief in myself. And that feeling was like, I can do anything. And for those few years, I really just did everything I wanted, and it worked.
Before that point, like, what kind of kid were you? Like, I know you guys didn't have a lot of money, so sometimes that keeps people from like playing sports and like even hanging out with friends sometimes. But like, was there anything you were really interested in?
Yeah, I played the guitar a lot. And that was one of the things, because I think that we learn and act based on our reward system. Anytime I would play my guitar and be creative, I was rewarded. And I think that reward benefited me so massively, more than I ever knew.
How did it reward you?
Anytime I would play my guitar, everyone around me would like support me and say, that's so good. And I would get so much attention. And I guess it assigned attention as a good thing and creativity as a good thing, which led me down this path that I'm in right now.
Yeah, you've also been dealing with a stalker for a few months. Who's this guy that's been stalking you for the past few months?
Okay, so there's this guy named C-Dad. And I walk outside of my building in Miami one day, and it's this like jacked, burly dude, like relatively tall, starts filming me, and he's like, TikTok boy, do the dance. But in a weird way, it was not harmful, him saying it. It was like actually like he just wanted me to do the dance, which I don't even know. And I was actually pretty mad.
Like, what dance are you talking about?
I had these like reflective pants, and previously I had made some videos like doing a dance in these pants, and I didn't want to do it, but my friend just like convinced me. I was like, bro, this is so stupid. Like, and I was like, bro, whatever. He just convinced me to do it. His name was Ian. And then I did it, and then it just went somewhat viral. Not really. It got like a few 100,000 views. And then this guy came up to me and said, do the dance with the pants. And ever since then, he started following me every single time I would go outside. Like literally every time I walked outside, I would see this dude. And at first I was mad, and people thought that I kept getting more mad, but realistically, I just stopped caring because I was like, this guy's harmless. And every video that he made of me just started blowing up his account. Like every video probably got anywhere from 500K to a few million views.
How did he find you?
He just roams around outside of my building. Like he camps outside of my building.
Interesting, man. Yeah, I went outside of your building, and like, it seems like every single person we were with was getting recognized a bunch. And like, it was the most I've been recognized in a while. Like, what's with that area? Is it just Brickell?
Brickell, Miami is the spot to get recognized because everyone there, I swear, it's such a small space. But so many influencers go there, and videos that you film there, I swear, just do better because everyone knows the area subconsciously. So there's just always influencers there. And then it's an interesting place. People go there, and then there's just so many people running into each other.
So the dance of the pants, back to what's important here, Dillon. Like, I thought you engineered this trend. Like, I was like evaluating your facial expressions in his videos, and I was like, Dillon's in on this. Like, he looks way too happy to see this guy like stalking him. Like, at what point did it kind of like become like you and him like working to blow this up?
At the start, I was genuinely like mad and like, who was this guy following me? And I would say after every video, I started to care less and less until eventually I just thought it was funny. And then I was like, wait, this is going really viral. Like, it was going so viral that I couldn't go outside without somebody telling me to do the dance, whether it was him or someone else. And this isn't just here. I went to Georgia in the mountains in the middle of nowhere in a Waffle House at like 12 a.m. And half the people in the Waffle House were telling me to do the dance. Another restaurant in Georgia, the middle of nowhere, these like moms come up to me and tell me to do this. Like, it was literally everywhere I go. And that at that point, I was like, this is insane. So I was like, all right, I'll just play into it. Eventually, he recognizes me again on the street, literally films me like he always does. And right after, I was like, bro, I'm going to DM you. Let's like do like a final thing and just like set an end to this. So we do it. We show up to the mall in Brickell, and like the whole mall almost gets like shut down. Like, there's escalators. All the escalators are just filled with people. And the mall is just like a crowd, and the security's like going crazy. And it's just me, my friend Ian, both in these pants, and C-Dad. And we're just roaming around with like crowds of people, and they kicked us out. But
You finally did the dance of the pants.
yeah, but then I was like, I could do something smart with this. So I got my Simpletics, and then I just like held it everywhere I go. Cause I'm like, if I'm going to get filmed everywhere I go, I'm getting something out of this.
Oh, that's genius.
So I just started holding my product everywhere I went, and it got a ton of exposure.
How many people like have you done the dance of the pants for?
Oh, when people ask me, I'm not doing it. I am not doing a dance for somebody who asked me to do the dance.
Have you ever done it?
If you look at the first video, it's funny because I'm about to do it. And then it snapped in my head. I was like, why am I about to dance for this random guy? Like, what is happening? And then from that moment, I was like, yeah, I'm never doing the dance for someone.
You think you'll ever do it again?
Maybe. I mean,
Bro,
like,
that could be your whole thing. That could be like some TikTok 2021 stuff where you just do the dance with like all these big celebrities.
like
and
just
shit.
keep doing. You're right. He's right. Yeah. I think yeah.
Like Jason Derulo, like Togi's gonna be here in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one who originally did the dance? Did you see that?
Yeah. So my friend Ian made that video viral of Togi, and Togi reposted it as his. So Ian was in on this whole thing. Ian, most people, he's like under the radar. He's a huge YouTuber, but he like doesn't really show his face. And he's the real mastermind behind it. And he's the mastermind behind a lot of memes that you see go viral, but he never gets the credit for it. So I had to give him his credit. But yeah, so Togi, that was not Togi in that video you're talking about. That was someone who looked like Togi, and Ian saw that and memed it. So Ian basically just memed a bunch of stuff with these pants, and then it became a meme to an extent. So it was like a mix. It started with a niche community of people who do dances and like reflective pants. It's like shuffling. And because that niche, it was like from 2011, and then it like revived that community. So that's why it blew up so much, because like a niche community was so diehard. They were like, this is so sick. And then, yeah.
Is it a good idea to date influencers?
If incentives align.
What really happened between you and Karen?
I can't even answer that.
Very interesting. Yeah. Karen wouldn't tell me either. Interesting, though. Gonna have to. Do you think you'll ever be able to talk about it?
Probably not.
Why did you get doxxed when you were 18?
So I went through a really weird series of events where I had gone the most viral I've ever been. I got like 250 million views in like a week on like one account. And then I was huge in the Looksmaxxing space. And I mentioned this website. I don't even know if I want to mention it, but the Looksmaxxing website. And apparently it was greatly gatekept. So they all spam reported me. I got banned on my account. And then at the same time, they doxed me. And I had to call the cops to my house because people were saying they were like at my house. And I got doxxed basically for leaking that website when I didn't know that it was supposed to be that gate kept.
So they just gave out your address?
Address, all my information, like literally everything just got out there.
Did that have anything to do with like, I know you were leaked as well. Did that have something to do with that?
So no, I think the leak thing was like intertwined, but I actually don't know. It was just a crazy turn of events. I went really viral, got doxxed, got leaked, and then just everything.
Yeah, bro, you've been through some stuff. Do you think young men have a responsibility to provide for their family?
I think to an extent, yes, but it depends on the circumstances. So it's circumstantial. I couldn't give a blanketed yes or no. Majority of the time, I would say yes.
I would guess that you probably agree with my sentiment on this, which is you can love people from a distance, and sometimes the best way to support them is work on your own stuff and support them when you feel like you have enough.
Well, yeah, exactly. My take is, what is it? They say put your oxygen mask on before you put it on someone else. And the reality is, people can't seem to comprehend that even if you have a lot of money, that does not mean that you're like set, because that money is now just a tool to then make you more. But if you don't have that money and you just spent it and you gave it to everyone and all that, you couldn't exponentially grow the same way that you could with that money. So it takes time to make enough to where you're like, okay, at this point, I could spend a lot and still not really have any repercussion.
Have you ever been close to taking your life?
Once. And it was after I lost everything, friends, my family, pretty much everyone, my business, gotten banned on like all social media accounts. And I remember waking up every morning like shaking. Like it was legitimate like 24/7 torture of like, there was not a waking moment where I wasn't like deathly anxious. And that was legitimately worse than anything I've ever gone through by far. So at that time, it wasn't a thought of like, it was really just a desperation in my head of like, I want this to, like, this is so bad. Like, I need it to end somehow. So yeah, but I don't think I would have ever acted on it knowing who I am.
This might be personal, but did you ever think about like maybe how you would do it?
No. And that's why I don't believe I would have done it. I think that thought comes in your head, and it's, to me, was almost calming because I was like, we're all going to die anyway. And for some reason, knowing that I could be the one to choose when that happens actually brought me more of a sense of calm rather than like some like sense of depression or something. Like it just made me calm, knowing like if it really got really bad, it could get to that point. And I guess after that, for a year straight, when I worked sleepless nights, when we actually met, I was in that phase. It was right after. Every morning I would wake up and just like work nonstop. And that was just like, I would think to myself, I was like, if this doesn't work out, I'm ending it. But that was more so like a joke to myself. I don't know.
Yeah, when I met you, you just seemed fried. Like you just been looking at a screen too much, been working too much, but I think that's a good thing sometimes. What are the practical steps to reverse negative thoughts? Or what practical steps did you use to kind of pull yourself out of all this negative shit?
Extreme amounts of action. And rather than chasing outcomes, chasing a flow state of work. Because when I'm in the flow state on my guitar, making videos, doing any work, that's the one time where I'm not thinking about everything else.
Why do you work?
Initially, it was out of fear. And I still think it is largely due to fear. I'm running from the thought of losing it all. But it actually hit me a few weeks ago how much money I actually have made. And now I'm running from comfort because I was comfortable for a little bit and realized this is how dreams die. So I work for the sake, I guess, the love of the game, but also running from fear.
Yeah, fear is extremely motivating. But I'll say the next level to it is just like working for pleasure's sake. And that is so hard to do. And most people can't crack it. But when you meet someone that cracks it, you're like, damn, that motherfucker is working way harder than me, you know?
So wait, are you saying like cracking the idea of working for the sake of just loving it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm tapping back into. Because when I first blew up, when I was posting 100 videos a day, weirdly enough, I didn't feel like I was working. But to most people, that's like torture. So I was like, I just realized for me to do that, I just have to be in a flow state of creativity, and it doesn't feel like work anymore. And I can outrun anyone who tries to compete with that.
What's your spiritual stance?
I grew up Christian, but when I had this sort of manic episode, I was rethinking life when I was working all day, every day, and had no friends, no relationships. And I started listening to podcasts of astrologists, people who would debate religions. And now I would say I'm agnostic, really just meaning I don't know, because the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. So agnostic in the sense that I literally couldn't tell you, but I lean more towards Christianity than any other religion specifically.
I was just curious because I think that the work doesn't feel like work sometimes when you align it with a higher purpose. Something I've learned with interviewing all these folks. I thought I was trying to figure out what business to start or what's the secret they're all using to make money. And definitely one of the common themes is God.
Do you believe in God?
As of very recently, man.
Which, like Christian God or God in general?
It's more so about aligning yourself with the highest good, I think. I think the Christian God is probably, like, when you look at the figure of Jesus, like, God is a really hard thing to relate to because he's so much better than humans in every possible way. But Jesus was at the very least human, so he's an easier thing to model after. But I think Christianity is really hard to practice daily because, like, it seems like there's a lot of rules, but there's really not that many. But as opposed to something like Islam, like Muslims have to follow these really, really strict rules. And if you follow all these rules, you kind of just train your actions to match your thoughts, which is aligning with the highest good. But Christians don't have as many of those strict rules and like praying multiple times a day, etc. But I think Christianity is probably the best if you can really just align yourself with the mindset of like, I'm doing everything for God and for myself. And then you'll kind of know what actions to take. So I don't know. Quran seems like a better rule book to get enlightened, and Christianity seems like a good mechanism if you can understand what it really means to be good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's one thing, and it's that all the religious texts, to a degree, contradicts each other. And one thing that swayed me towards agnosticism was the idea of geolocation. Like if you look at a heat map of where religions stem from, you'll literally just look like India, Hinduism, all these places. And it's like a lot of Christianity or just religion in general is based on free will. But that to me begs the question, you can't choose where you're born. You can't choose these things. That to me doesn't necessarily negate God, but I'm just saying it made me more think to myself, I don't know. Because a lot of these occurrences, I'm just like, you would think it would be different after looking into the religious text.
Yeah, the whole question of God is a very different question of which book or which set of beliefs to choose. That's a whole other thing. I would have to go like deep into that. But I will say that just because things contradict each other and just because there are multiple options that don't seem to line up, it doesn't negate the one common truth that they all have, which is that there is a higher good to align yourself with.
Agreed.
Man, how we get into God, Dillon? We got to get back to the dance of the pants. Why is Gen Z much more obsessed with looks than previous generations?
Awareness and survival of the fittest. because in social media, you just notice that the attractive people float to the top and the less attractive people stay at the bottom unless they have some crazy outlying trait that like makes them stand out. And in the world that we live in now, I think social media is borderline more important to Gen Z than real life.
100%.
So when you look at the hierarchy, it's just a common theme that the better you look, the better you do.
What's an issue affecting young men that no one seems to talk about?
Lack of direction. Everyone talks about how young guys are anxious or depressed, but I think if guys had a direction in life, they would lose a lot of those negative things because direction can almost negate those things. If you have a purpose and you're chasing something, everything else kind of seeps into irrelevance. But everything is made so confusing by school or really just anyone. A lot of people just say words at each other. A lot of kids grow up in households where their parents, although they have their best intentions at heart, they don't actually set them up in a good way. So all these young guys just end up lost. I think if they had some figures, whether that be through social media or some other means, to find direction in life, that would solve many problems. And that's actually my purpose right now, to help young men find direction in life.
One other that I thought you might have good insight on that I feel like no one talks about is just the effect that OnlyFans and corn is having on young men. What are your thoughts on like OF and corn and how it affects guys?
I think number one, it is a dopamine problem over everything else. And large amounts of dopamine makes it harder to do hard things, makes it harder to stick to things. All the traits of a successful person usually are in the absence of dopamine. They're created through the absence of dopamine. Focus, you need to eliminate dopamine for a little bit sometimes. Work ethic, like just so many things. So I think that's the number one problem. What do I think about it? I don't even know, because the girls doing it, or guys or whoever, they can do what they want, I guess. But I think they need to act in the understanding that a lot of that stuff is just consumed by like literal kids. And I don't think these people care.
Why do you think it's so normalized for like guys to watch that?
People don't like to feel weird. So when one person does it, they push it onto other people so that they feel normal.
So the dance of the pants trend, you didn't really engineer it. You kind of took advantage of it. And then some of the other controversies you've been in, you maybe didn't orchestrate it, but you took advantage of it. Have you ever engineered virality?
Yes. And the way you do it, and this is something I've never seen before, you essentially get other people to post about you as much as humanly possible. And now you see this with clipping, but people don't understand the real power of it. If you build a big enough personal brand, you essentially get orchestrated virality where people post about you for free for no reason other than the fact that they like you, which sends eyeballs down a funnel from not knowing who you are to now knowing who you are, to then seeing you, to then going to your page, to then potentially buying your product or whatever it is. And I find that if you can create a collection of events in the right manner, you can orchestrate this level of virality. For example, if you posted like the dance, if I post a dance in the reflective pants and then I get people to record me doing it and they post it and it just happens to click, well, then more people will just begin posting about it and it causes a wave effect.
How do you get people to post about you? Would I have to have someone filming me in public and that video go viral and then people just know in their minds like, oh, if I film this dude, it goes viral?
I mean, yeah. If you want to orchestrate it for yourself, you just need someone to lead by example. So when C-Dad filmed me and went viral, so a bunch of other people were literally thought what you just said. When they see me, they're like, if I film him, it'll go viral. So every time I walk outside in Brickell now, people film me. And a lot of times it goes viral. This girl just came, had 0 followers, did an interview with me, got like 30,000 views, and she gained 1,000 followers. This other guy, completely random guy, films a video with me, just standing next to me, gets 100,000 views. This is good for both parties, and it's why it's so insane. And it's like a locational thing. If you're in a big city and you just walk around, you will get clipped. And that is completely different to me than people making edits and stuff, because it's like so real. It's like real community, and nobody has that anymore. So the way I've done it is I have a Discord community of all these people in my area, and I can just ping them whenever and say, show up here. And I know they're going to record me.
If you had to go from 0 to 1 million followers on TikTok in 6 months, how would you do it?
I would make a new account. I would post every single day, minimum 3 times a day, but ideally 10 plus. In posting these videos, I would find a niche memes/trends and play on them as much as possible. I'm talking memes that used to exist that are now completely dead, or memes that are really small that haven't blown up yet. And I would create a cult-like community around this with these videos. And you'll know when something hits when you get an outlier video, aka a video that gets more views than the average video. Once you find this, you want to start a collection of these niche memes/trends/whatever. And once you have a big enough collection, it's an exponential growth. So you'll go from wherever you are to eventually you're known as the guy who wears these pants, carries around the sea salt spray, and has this hairstyle. The more things that you can collect and add to your brand of videos, the better. And they have to be niche though. They can't be something where you're just walking around and you're the guy who wears blue jeans. It's like, no. But if you're the guy who wears pink leggings and a blue cardigan, what is that? Find your thing and extreme amounts of volume, pair that together, but you have to be strategic and only stick with the things that stick. If you try to hit on some niche meme and it doesn't work, it might not work for you. But if you do find something and you just notice like a slight bit of like, this just does a little bit better than the others, double down as much as you can and keep collecting those niche things and post as much as you possibly can.
If you wanted to make $1 million while doing that, what would change?
You ideally need somebody on the back end of a business so that way you can handle it. Because realistically, if you want to blow up like that, you need to be putting your time into content. I would find a partner who's in the space. If you're going to blow up and get this many views, you need to do low ticket. You can do high ticket, but I think low ticket would be significantly more sustainable. More people would buy. And you would find a product market fit and launch a product. But I would actually launch a product after you found that meme to go with. So if you happen to notice every time you talk about water, it does well, you could do something relating to that in some way. Or every time you talk about hats, you could eventually release something like that. I recommend something that is recurring though, not a one-time sale product. And if you just so happen to find the perfect product for your market, you could make $1 million, if not multi-millions of dollars.
That's good advice. I think the most obvious version of this is, what's a product that I use every day? And can I make videos about it? You know, like yes. What's a product I already use every single day? Or what's a product I should be using? Let me try it and then I'll just make videos about it. And they don't even have to like make you money. You know, you might end up starting your own brand from it. You don't necessarily have to go on TikTok shop and look at an affiliate, because it's easier to make a product than I think people would assume.
I have something to add though. When you choose a product, I recommend this criteria: low ticket and needs to solve a pain point. Most people fail because they're solving something that isn't even a problem. People don't care about it. When I made my salt spray, I did this on accident, but like people genuinely hate having straight hair. Like they hate it, guys at least. And I solved that problem. You need to have aligned incentives where it fits in with that niche thing that you are associated with. It needs to solve a problem and it needs to be catchy. What I mean by that is it needs to be something where people see it and be like, I keep seeing that. Like, what is that thing? Like sea salt spray was just new enough where people see it and they're like, I see this, but like, I don't know what it is. Like, what is it? If you have that, it's just the perfect formula.
What's a product you're not going to launch, but you think is a good idea?
I like something teeth related, like teeth whitening. I don't know what it would be, but it's an instant fix. It's a painful problem. It's probably cheap to make and it's really easy to market. So actually, I'd probably do something purple teeth related, because like purple toothpaste goes really viral. It doesn't even work. So I'd make a purple product like that actually does work.
Interesting. Why do you think like purple tooth related things go viral? Like, have you just seen videos of that
Because
before?
it clicks in your head and it's very visually appealing. Purple is just one of those colors, and you can so visually demonstrate it. Different platforms are more visual based, like Instagram, whereas TikTok is more, you can't even put words to it. It's very different. It is still visual, but if you have purple toothpaste on a yellow tooth, then you wipe the purple toothpaste and it turns the tooth white. You don't have to speak any language to understand that. It makes sense. You just look at it and you're like, that makes sense. But it doesn't work. So imagine doing that, but it did work. Or like maybe having something, like I was saying, associated with your personal brand that also involves purple, maybe something like that. The teeth, I just like teeth because it's recurring as well. Your teeth are always going to get more yellow, even if you whiten them.
I'm going to have Cookie King on this podcast eventually, and I'm trying to soft launch my audience to the idea of who Cookie King is. So what is the cookie verse?
The cookie verse. It's something that you can't explain to normal people because they don't understand it. But it all started when Cookie King crashed out. Cookie was a normal guy, but that's when he started eating really bad. McDonald's apple pies, crumble cookies, it got really bad. And that's when Santa Cruz had to fly him out because he crashed out that hard. Santa Cruz flies him out and gets him to run hill sprints, lock in, and he just can't lock in. To this day, since this started like 3 years ago, Cookie King has yet to lock in.
You don't think he's locked in right now?
Actually, this is the most he's locked in. So the cookie verse is the journey of going from where you are to being locked in.
Like, what can business owners and anyone trying to grow on social media learn from Cookie King?
Being authentically yourself is more powerful than people think. I think if you try to impress people for the sake of impressing them, you end up impressing no one. But if you try to impress yourself, you can impress many.
Yeah, I find it so fascinating. He was the first person I'd seen blow up, like using like traditionally model-esque looking influencer audios and like lip syncing them just like with full confidence, and people just loved it because he just like didn't care what he posted. You know what I mean? Is there anything that you've learned like looking at his content?
So much. The reason that I figured out the spam posting thing was because of him. I saw him doing it and he told me to try it. And it's not that I saw him doing it and was like, oh, let me do this. I saw him do it and he told me how fun it was to do it. And I was like, yo, this is really fun. So I started doing it. And even to this day, I don't post it because I'm trying to get views. I legitimately do it for fun. And that was the biggest game, because social media, the more competitive it gets, the less fun it gets to an extent, or it can get more fun depending on what you're trying to do. But it is so fun to just spam post.
If you had to market a podcast, how would you go about it? Like with maybe the spam posting method or some other things that you've used in the past?
Well, clipping would be the obvious answer, but if you wanted an unorthodox approach, spamming with like a really serious guest. Like if you had David Goggins on the podcast and you were like filming him from across, like trolling him and stuff, like nobody has done that. Nobody will ever even dare to do that. Like imagine having the highest caliber guest and spamming TikToks with him where you're being like like making yourself look stupid. Now the thing is, that's kind of risky. Maybe it's not, because maybe they would respect that. But that is irreplaceable. Nobody could do that. That's what I would, no question, that's what I would do.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've thought about filming more TikToks with the guests. Like I had TJR on and I was like, probably should have just filmed some dumb videos with him.
You should.
Just to market it more.
There's literally, yeah, no question. You need to spam with the guests. And I think going against or like making things ironic or like funny, adding like the niche memes in there, like telling David Goggins about Cookie King, that would just hit.
That's really interesting. Do you think our generation, like, I know I'm a bit older than you, but is on TikTok, or do you think they're on Instagram?
They're on both. This like hypnotist guy that I work with who hypnotizes multimillionaires and billionaires, I like started working with him. He got a 1 million view video on TikTok. And he got his first ever billionaire client from TikTok. And I also noticed people who want to work with me, business owners who make a lot of money, a lot of times knew me from TikTok, not other platforms.
I've not been utilizing TikTok at all for this podcast. I've only been thinking about Instagram and long form YouTube. because TikTok is just it's so different from Instagram.
It's
I don't
really
know what it is.
nuanced.
Like the vibe is like so different.
Well, I can tell you the difference that I see at least. TikTok is letting people know you exist more than anything else. And also it's good for creating like a community feeling. The reason I can post a video and mention Cookie King and people will know, people who watch me will see that because the algorithm on TikTok, it works in a different way than I've seen these other platforms. And it's good for community, but it's also, like I was saying, good for letting people know something exists. So awareness. I don't think there's a better platform for letting people know that your podcast exists because that's a huge part, obviously. But I would say that is the number one use of TikTok.
It's super cool how on TikTok, like if I say the word Cookie King, like it instantly goes out to anyone who's ever interacted with a video that says the word Cookie King. You know what I'm saying? But like Instagram doesn't really work like that. Instagram, it's more like comedy, niche comedy. Like it's a lot more generalized topics. But what do you think is the easiest way to make 10K on social media?
Right now, the easiest way is probably TikTok Shop. I mean, TikTok Shop, you make an account, post videos, you have to get to a certain follow count, but that is the most common way I see people making 10K a month right now, at least in regards to social media related.
How would you do it before you had your product? Would you do anything differently? Would you just pick one product and spam post about that?
For TikTok Shop, I would just find the sort of trendy products and spin my unique take on them and promote them that way. But posting videos where you can really convey something in a way that is easy to understand is the way to do it. So not a generic thing, holding your phone saying this is the product, but like doing it in a unique, out of the box way.
What do you think makes a hook go viral?
A hook goes viral because of curiosity, fear, or desire, or a mix of the three. So fear of missing out, they're like, I need to see this. Curiosity, once again, is like what I need to see what's behind this. And then desire is like, I want this outcome. Those are the three things that make a hook work.
If you had to make a hook out of what you just said, like what makes a hook go viral, like what would you probably go with?
I actually did this. Well, this one would be hard to convey because it's like a visual hook. That's the thing that people miss. I'll say it anyway, but you need to pair visual with audio and they have to contrast with each other, in my opinion. I'll tell you something that I did. I did a video. It only got 100K, but it was like a niche video for like a business owner audience. I was like, here's how much money I made from this video that got 26.2 million views on TikTok. Everybody's curious how much money someone's going to make from 26 million views.
Yeah. And then was there text on screen?
It was just me on the bottom and at the top, the video showing it. I was like controlling the screen with a mouse and I was like shaking it around, showing the views. Yeah. Like highlighting the views with my mouse.
That kind of is the credibility factor, which feels like it's about to happen too. So they're like about to get the result. That's interesting. What pisses you off about social media?
Not utilizing platforms when they're still in their easy phase. So when I was first on TikTok, it was really easy and I didn't know it. When Instagram Reels came out, I got millions of views, like 3 million views plus per video, and I didn't really post that much. Didn't utilize it. I think it's missing the opportunities because you don't realize how big they are until they're gone. But if you're talking people-wise, people can't comprehend the fact that in short-form content, you can't add complete context. So you have to say polarizing things, and they think that like somebody will be really stupid or they'll hate them. But realistically, the person viewing it is actually just not thinking about the fact that in order to go viral, you have to be polar sometimes.
Expand on that a little bit.
So any controversial figure that you see on social media will say something in a short form clip that if you were to add context, it would then make the clip boring and it could not go viral. So when somebody sees that, they're like, this is not true. This is incorrect. They're not like aware enough to know that like that's not the full context.
Yeah, I would ask you about like platforms or opportunities right now, but I think we're at a place where it's more about features on platforms that like you don't want to miss the boat on, and less about like new platforms popping up. Like I think we're seeing all the platforms that'll be here for the next few years.
I guess it just depends what you want to optimize for. I mean, I'm actually curious with you because you're very experienced on YouTube long form. What do you think YouTube long form should be used for?
It depends, like, what is long form to you? Is long form 10 minutes? Is long form 45 minutes? Is long form 3 hours?
Let's say like a 10 to 20 minute video.
10 to 20 minute video, you're kind of optimizing for virality. It's like kind of like a TikTok mechanism, and you're optimizing for entertainment. I think you would have to go, or maybe mid-ticket sales. Like if you're selling something that's $3,000 to $7,000 perhaps, that would probably be able to be conveyed in a 10 to 20 minute video. But I think in like the 45 to hour range, you're kind of getting into the, I'm selling something that is $20,000 plus. I think maybe Aman Gaji, and how he orchestrates his videos. That's if we're talking about the business side. I think there still can be some entertaining stuff at the hour, 2 hour range, but it's really just like the length of a video is kind of associated to how deep you're going with your audience. And people like say that people can make careers off of like 60-second videos, but in your case, it's because they're watching the same 60-second video or a different take on it, or someone talking about it like 40 times. Yeah. You know, it's like if I see 40 Dillon Latham clips that are 60 seconds, like it's really going to go deep into my brain. But you're not going to have that same benefit of if you did one 40-minute video that was really structured toward one thing and getting one message across. That's probably going to have the most benefit.
Can I ask you, you pivoted this channel, right?
Yeah, it used to be a crime channel.
How do you recommend pivoting a long form YouTube channel? Because I started...
Make a new channel.
Make a new channel?
Dumbest stuff I did with this podcast was not make a new channel.
So for my circumstance, I tell stories on mine. You've seen them and they get millions of views. But I don't want to just make money on ad revenue. I want to make money through business. So you're saying just start a new, like I want to talk about money because that's actually what I'm passionate about.
Yeah, make a new channel, 100%. Because I mean, this channel, it is honestly at the point where I should still make a new channel. Like even though I've posted all these podcasts and gone viral a few times, like the only reason I do it is to give me some credibility to get guests on, you know?
That's what I was thinking. The subscriber count helps a lot with getting guests, right?
Yeah. And eventually it'll get to the point where I have so many views on the podcast. So I had 2 billion views on the old channel, right? The podcast has 200 million views. I would have to get to theoretically 4 billion views. So 66% of my audience that gets recommended wants to watch the podcast, you know? But I'm at the place right now where 90% of my audience doesn't want to watch a podcast. So I have to kind of cater my content to them. Plus, because the way it works is like, sends it to a test group of people, then a bigger test group, then a bigger test group, then a bigger test group, as you know, like with views. So like if I get a video that gets past my audience, and my audience really likes it, then it gets pushed onto the algorithm, then it goes crazy. That's why I have a few with lots of views. And then most are like this steady 20 to 70K view range, you know?
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's, and you think would you say that YouTube operates on a video by video basis right now? Or are you saying like...
YouTube operates on a channel basis, right?
It still does that? I thought it was really video by video.
It's video by video, but they reward heavily someone watching your video and then binge watching 40 more videos. It's about like total user time spent on this channel. That's what blows the channel up.
So my question to you, and I don't have to keep talking about this, but I'm actually so curious. My channel has like, it's about to hit like 1 million subscribers. Do I keep posting these story videos that are long form and just, you're saying make a new channel? Do you think the move is to fully just drop off that other channel? Like, because AdSense, I could probably make like 20K a month on that channel, 30K a month.
How bad do you want 1 million subs?
I think it's good for credibility. So I want it's close enough. I'm at like 860K something. Like I could hit 1 million.
It'll take like 2-3 months if you sped run it. But it seems like a waste of time for your own validation of hitting the 1 million plaque, which I've done, you know? Like I sped ran my channel with shorts when like I was already making long form content and I knew that the shorts were killing the channel. And I was like, I just want the 1 million plaque, bro. But if you'd rather make business content right now than have a YouTube plaque, which you can buy on eBay, and get it engraved with your name if you really want it, like I would just switch the channel, man.
One other thing, do you think So there's broad business content, like say what Alex Hermosi makes. And then there's niche business content. Do you know Alex Becker?
Yeah.
Or there's probably people way more niche than him. Do you recommend separate channels even for that? So like, for example, you could do you know Cody Sanchez as well or no?
Yeah. We're supposed
So like
to do
her
it.
channel is like heavily like entertainment based, but it's like business. I feel like there's no way she could sell a high ticket thing through that channel, except for like her proof, I guess, that she has. But
She can, and she does. She makes a lot of money. And it's really just what are you optimizing for? Yeah, I mean, bro, there's some people that can make short form content and sell things that are $1,000 and they can sell 1,000 of those things. Yeah, ideally, what's the thing that you're selling?
I'm trying to choose right now if I want to do high ticket.
What's the thing that you're absolutely best at?
For me, I would say general like content creation and as a whole is just what I'm good at. Like,
So you don't realize this because you're not like most creators, but it's really hard to make content and go viral, and it's really hard to do this. And I think a better niche would probably be how to like sell on TikTok Shop. Like if you're not already good at making YouTube videos compared to TikTok, like what is, if you had to describe your ultra specific best skill, what is it? Is it
short form content creation, like by far.
but ultra specific? Like, is it a certain number of viewers and attract this niche type of person? Or is it, I know how to get 300K views about a topic? Like if you had to go super specific, what can you do?
Taking viral ideas from short form from other people and making them go viral for myself. So I don't know if that's specific enough. Like I can look at a video and be like, okay, this is why it went viral. Let me recreate this and I can just do it.
Can you get a viral video about shoes?
It would be unorthodox probably, but yeah.
But could it sell the shoes? You think you could sell one shoe if you made a video about these shoes?
I feel like I could, but I don't think that's like the expertise. Like
But the expertise is the fact that you can sell anything with TikTok, but I would guess that it's low ticket things. And right now you're targeting people with mid ticket, high ticket offers when that's not in your wheelhouse yet.
Well, here's what I'll say though. My skill is not doing it on a video by video basis. The reason people buy is more so for the personal brand that I've built. It's not because I've convinced them so much in an individual video. It's because I have built a brand. People trust me. They see that trust and they buy.
Well, see, that's true, but you've also got a lot of sales that are from affiliates. You don't
Yes,
get the
on
number
this,
one brand
yeah.
on TikTok Shop with just 1 million followers. You know what I mean? You get the number one brand on Amazon with having 1 million followers and a huge network of creators. And people would pay you to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Dillon Latham, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Being normal almost never results in being exceptional. If you want to be outstanding at anything at all, you're not going to be understood. The more people that misunderstand you, that's actually a better sign that you're on the right path. I remember showing up to school. My friends had a speaker and they were playing music that I had published because I was trying to become famous. I started dripping in sweat. My face blew up red because they were playing my music in front of the entire class. I felt sick to my stomach. And as I felt horrible, I remember leaving that class with a smile because I knew that I had gained the attention of everyone in that room. But now I do that in front of millions of people. Being normal has never resulted in being exceptional.
Well, everyone, this has been your guest, Dillon Latham. He's not going to do the dance with the pants for us today. Where can people find you?
Dillon, Dillon Latham on all platforms.
How you spell Latham?
Latham.
Appreciate you coming on, man. This is the Jack Neel Podcast. See you guys.
Appreciate it, brother.